Look, that's a really tough one to take. I do think they were robbed. I'll explain why for you. I know some people don't agree with me, but I'm not changing my mind, and I've actually took a couple of minutes on purpose to watch them back and see if the red tinted glasses need removing. But before I talk about why we were robbed, and I thought two of Man City's goals were totally preventable by officials who just seem to be so inconsistent, and it's the second Manchester derby in a row where I think a ridiculous decision has done us over. Hoyland on Rodri at Old Trafford, never seen a penalty given like it before, never seen one since. And then today, even in the last minute, he gives a foul on Delo for the same thing that happens to Rashford. Whether it's soft or not, whether Gary Neville thinks it's a foul or not, they always get given. When you're outside the box and somebody pulls you back, you take a tumble, it's a foul. It should have been given. It wasn't given. They go up the other end and they score. And as for the Ederson one, at no point am I going to be changing my mind on this, because I keep watching it. And all I see is, and watch it back, all I see is Ederson out of control, off the ground, 2 feet, wide open, stood up, gets the ball, and then cleans out Garnacho. You do that in the centre circle, the crowd would go crazy, and it'd be a red card. And all people are saying to me is, it's a good tackle, he gets the ball. It's a good tackle. And I'm like, look, watch it back. If you think that that's not a foul, and we don't get yellow cards and red cards for that, I don't know where I've been for the last 6 years. It's a last man tackle. He gets the ball, but he's out of control. His legs are like a pair of scissors. He wraps them around the player afterwards. He cleans him out. His studs are up. I think it's a penalty. I do. I just don't think they've got the balls to give that in the modern game. And I'd call anybody a hypocrite who says we haven't seen fouls given for that. And then Amrabat at the end just gives him a 3 goals. So I think all 3 goals are really preventable. Really preventable. But look, we've lost the game. There's no point in talking about officials. This has been going on all season. It's happened to other clubs. It's happened to Liverpool. It's happened to Arsenal. We've lost the game. And I think we've got to look at ourselves as well. And we'll do player ratings, mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. I think the first thing I would say is that I said before the game, for Manchester United to win this game, every player has to play a 7 out of 10. You're up against the best team in the world at their place in a derby. If you want to win this game, every player has got to put in at least a 7 out of 10. In 2008, Manchester United won the Champions League and the Premier League, and we should have won the FA Cup. Dodgy refereeing decision against Portsmouth knocked us out. They went on to win it. In that season, with Rio and Vidic and Ronaldo and Rooney and Tevez and Carrick and Giggs and Scholes and Van der Sar, in that season, at Old Trafford, in the February, we lost 2-1 to Manchester City, who had the greats of Richard Dunn, Dieter Hamann, and Vassal and Benjani scored. So, it's not impossible to go and get a result in a Manchester derby away from home. And we've done it in the past. But what has to happen is you have to have 11 players that play well. I actually think that I predicted 2-0 to Man City. It finished 3-1. So I predicted it right. I thought Man City would be 2 goals better than us. We've not been stuffed 5 or 6-0, which I don't think was ever going to happen. Some people predicted that. I don't think it was ever going to happen. We've lost 3-1, 2-0, whatever you want to call it. But absolutely, categorically, you've got to call out some individual players, because when we do the player ratings, not everybody got a 7 out of 10. And if you go into a derby and you can look in the mirror and you've not given a 7 out of 10, then you're responsible. I thought Ten Hag got his tactics absolutely spot on. Absolutely spot on. We are up against a team that has got no injuries, that can keep the ball all game. And that was always going to happen. We needed to be compact, we needed to be organised, and we needed to break well. And in the first 20 minutes, we could have been 2 or 3-0 up. Rashford scores a brilliant goal. 1-on-1, he should have done better. And then on the back post, he should have done better. For 20 minutes, it was fine. They were having a lot of the ball. We were well organised. We were breaking well. And from 20 minutes, it stopped. The defence carried on doing its job. The midfield carried on being compact. Scott McTominay disappeared for the whole game. Bruno Fernandes became the Bruno Fernandes of the last month, where he just can't string a pass together. Garnacho and Rashford faded out of the game. I don't think we constructed a decent breakaway attack after the 20th minute. And that's why we've lost the game, because there are bad refereeing decisions in there. Of course there are. Whether we disagree or agree on them, I think there are. I think, you know, they scored straight after the Rashford foul. They scored straight after what should have been a penalty. And Amrabat made a big mistake. If I'm a defender, I'm fuming. But I'd also be in the dressing room as the manager or as somebody like Rafael Varane, and I'd say, we've worked our arse off today. I know I've put in a 7 out of 10. I know Johnny Evans did. I know Dalot did. I know Mainu did. I know Casemiro did. You fucking didn't. You didn't. You didn't. And you didn't. You can't come to the Etihad and defend with, you know, 18% possession and do nothing after 20 minutes going forward. And I'll tell you what, I saw us have the ball in positions where we could have played people in, and you're doing little fucking flicks and shitty passes. That is why we've not got something from this game today, because despite what I thought was some ridiculously, inconsistently incompetent officiating and an absolute, you know, Amrabat's done. You know, I was willing to give him a chance. I mean, that's just, I don't know what to say. And Anthony as well. Those two off the bench. I mean, look, you've got to make substitutes. You have, but fucking hell, you know, 3-1, 2-1 makes no difference, but 3-1 makes it look a lot more convincing than it really was. 2-1 would have been the right score, I think, based on, you know, the referees are Pratt. But Goldbridge, that's the end of the clip. I'm sure you enjoyed it. In fact, I bet that's the best clip you've ever watched. So there's no reason not to subscribe to the channel. Click the bell icon so you never miss a clip again. In fact, smash a like on the video, because we all know only legends like videos, and you are all legends. So please smash a like on the video, and we will see you again on the next one. Thank you very much for watching, as always.